Hello and welcome everybody. We are back once again for FS1 action here at the Singapore circuit in the Marina Bay. A very legendary, well, I think it anyway is a legendary circuit at this point with the legendary night race now. One of the few night races on the F1 calendar, one of the few night races on our calendar here. We've just come to the end of warm-up, so we're pretty much going straight into the race. So, no holding back here, straight into the action. On cameras, as always, and alongside me is Mr. Quinton Plain, doing his usual amazing stuff that he always does. I will introduce, let you have a few words in a second, Quinton. We'll just quickly go through the grid. Bit of a surprise, Mike Anderson for Hinds Motorsports, so yay for me. On pole by 4,000ths of a second from Sandeep Chota. It was ridiculously close in qualifying. And Sam Howell was next. He was 0.011 off in third. Really close qualifying. It was quite something to see. And I believe it was Menno Clont who was fourth, and Jared van der Weide was fifth. I'm fairly sure from memory was the order. So, yeah.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
The race, sorry, I just had the announcer absolutely yell in my ear. That was very, very loud. But anyway, we've got 40 laps here of the Singapore circuit. It's going to be a very long race and a very, very tough race to this one. I believe the longest race on the calendar and also the toughest. A very, very technical circuit, this one, and very tough on the cars and the drivers themselves. So we're just waiting everyone to sink in now. Hopefully we won't have any issues. The server has been a little bit slow for this round, but hopefully we will be good to go here. And yep, there we go. We are ready to go here for the Singapore Grand Prix, as everyone now heading off, I believe, on the warm-up lap. So, on pole, yeah, I believe on the warm-up lap, yeah, I believe so. The time is counting down and everyone's already left. All right, I guess we're just on the warm-up lap. So, on pole, it is Mike Anderson for Hinds Motorsport. Really good stuff to see. A bit of a new face on pole position. We don't usually see anyone else on pole bar Sandeep and Sam. Sandeep Chota in second there, doing another stunning job for him, and just off pole, as I said. That top three, I think, is the battle to watch because they were so close in qualifying. Hopefully it'll be a nice battle. Sam Howe in third for Tayfor on the super soft, whereas Sandeep and Mike are on the medium, so it's going to be interesting to see strategies at play there. Menno Clont fourth for Adonis on the medium compound again, followed by Jared van der Weide fifth for Hinds, so very strong showing for Hinds here in qualifying. Hopefully it translates to the race. Behind him is Owen Golding for Insignia in sixth. Theodoros there in the United Autosports racing car is seventh. Michael Baldessaro in the second. Tayfor is eighth. Nikos there in the, as always, lone Everest GP car in ninth, followed by Tony Mitsalis in the lone BRM car for this race. He rounds at the top 10. 11th, Thomas there in the FSR car. Sort of stuff from him. And it's Alfred Wenzel there in the Bluebird racing car, who I believe rounds out the field. Nope, we've got as well Sergio Vancis in the second Insignia, who rounds out your field in 13th. And that is your order for this 15th round of the season. So, Quentin, I'll finally let you chime in now. What are your expectations for this race?
Well, after cracking qualifying, we had pretty much the top three separated by 1,000.
Yep. Quentin, a bit quiet, that's all right. I will continue to cover things here. So I believe we should be just coming to the end of the warm-up lap. Here I'm pretty sure, I think this is actually a bit of an impromptu warm-up lap. I'm fairly sure the race is meant to have started, but we've decided to do a little bit of an impromptu warm-up lap here as the sinking was taking a bit long. So we're going around now towards the end of the warm-up lap with obviously Mike Anderson in the pole. And it's going to be interesting to see. Usually we used to Sandeep and Sam kind of like being the two guys at the front. They've got this sort of random random sort of guy almost at the front of the field, but we are about to be ready soon to go racing. So now that we've got Quinton on the line, what are your thoughts, man, for the race to come?
It's going to be very exciting to see after having every top three being so close in qualifying, just 100 separating the top three. It's going to be a cracking race, and we've seen Sam and Sandeep having cracking races so far. Can they keep it going here? And we've got someone ahead of them all of a sudden.
Yeah, indeed. So here we go. Lights are about to go out our way here at the Singapore race here. And Sandeep has got a terrible start. So has Mike. They've both gone absolutely awful start. Menno Clont leads into turn one. Oh, nearly contact there in the front few as they get through. They all seem to get through okay. But Menno Clont leads here as they go through. The first corner is an amazing start from the Adonis driver.
Sam Harrington spun.
Oh, Sam Ham's round. Yeah, Sam is round. He's at the back now. He's in 12th spot. 11th spot, sorry, now. As also the Bluebird racing car of Alfred, he's out, or he's in the pit lane. I don't know what's happened there, but he's just in the garage. So Strange stuff there, but there you go. Sam Howell spun. He's at the back. Menno Clont leads from Mike Anderson. That's Sandeep Choudhury is third. Owen is fourth. And then it's actually Theodorus there in fifth, the United Autosports. Great start from him. Baldassaro sixth. Jared Vanderwade seventh. He's dropped a few spots off the line. He'll be trying to get them back up as he's actually side by side with Baldassaro to go through the left-hander here. But he won't make the move. Who's that? It's an Insignia around. It's Golding. Golding's round. In Insignia, he drops back now to the back of the field. He's going to come out just ahead of Stelios and Sam. Oops, someone's lagging. I think that's why they've dropped down. Sam's struggling. I think he might have damage, I'm assuming, in that car potentially. Yeah, I think he may have a puncture possibly. He's really limping around the track. And yeah, he does front right puncture for our championship leader. Drama here at Singapore. Our championship leader is in the walls already. We're only one lap in, so drama start here to the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. But Menno Clont leads the way in the Adonis from Mike Anderson. Sandeep Choudhury is third, right behind Mike there in that battle. And then it's Theodorus there in fourth, just rounding him out. Just off the back now. He's just dropped off the back of the top three, but he is there or thereabouts. The drama stuff. Sam Howe at the back already with a puncture. He's got a lot of making up to do. I tell you what, this has been a bit of a drama start, hasn't it, Quinn?
Exactly. No one could have predicted this. We've had pretty stable weather throughout practice for the entire week. Everyone's been used to the 30 degrees Celsius climate here in Singapore, even during the night. And perhaps just the tyres, he got them too hot, too many burnouts perhaps. And these tyres are very sensitive to the temperatures.
Yeah, indeed, no, it's very true. So Sam there, a very rare mistake really from Sam. You know, he's been in the obviously in this league for a long time. He knows the tricks of the trade. He's pretty much seen it all, and yeah, very rare for him to make a mistake on the first laps. But he has made it, and that's going to be obviously very, very important for Sandeep. Got a little lag there, but anyway, very important for Sandeep and Menno there for Adonis. One in their team's championship, and two in their drivers fight, with Sandeep and Sam. That's going to be very, very important for him, as Sandeep is a little bit behind Sam at the moment, and he'll be wanting to take every single opportunity he can to get points back on the T4 driver. By the way, Jared Vanderwade has got through into fourth. I tell you what, I think the server having a little bit of issues there, so if there's a little bit of lag showing in the BC, then we do apologise, but I think the server's just having a little bit of trouble at the moment, keeping things going. Looks like it's settled out for the moment, but yes, Jared's into fourth for Hins. He's actually closing in on the lead four, and he's on the super soft, by the way. He's actually the only one, apart from Sam, on the super soft, and everyone else on the medium, so keep an eye out for him. He'll be on an alternate strategy, possibly going to do an extra stop maybe. We'll have to wait and see as the race sort of goes along and finds itself out. The top three, very close to Menno, still leading from Mike, and it's Sandeep right behind. And Theodorus is just holding off the back of that in fourth. He's now got Jared coming at him in that super soft tyre at Hins Motorsport car. And then Baldassaro is behind him, followed by Nikos, Mitsalis, Owen, and Stelios there, the two insignias rounding out the top 10. And yeah, and then of course it's Sam. Oh, that's Tamas, sorry. Then Sam there in 12th, way off the back now. Pit stop behind, but we'll have to see. Maybe you can make a strategy work here, though. He has gone to the super soft, so it looks to me like he's not really altering his strategy too much, even though of that damage. So it'll be interesting to see how he'll go. But yes, the top three very close indeed. It is tough to pass around here, of course, here at the Singapore circuit. We do have DRS, obviously, with the help of RF High Voltage in this league, and they're going to be using it down the back straight. As we have a look now, oh boy, lag city, and I don't even know what's going on right now. There's lag. Oh, there we go. I think Mike is through. I can't really tell with the lag going on. Yep, looks like Mike has gotten through. And, oh, hang on, Sandeep's round. Sandeep, no, it's Menno. Menno's in the wall at the end of the back straight. I don't know what's happened there. I'm going to see if I can see. No, I can't. Honestly, I don't know what happened there. There's just so much lag that I actually have no idea what happened. But yeah, Menno is rounds, and he drops all the way down to 9th now. Actually, probably going to be under pressure from Stelios there in that 9th spot. So that puts Mike Anderson in the lead now from Sandeep. There's Theodorus in 3rd, Jared in 4th, and that's Baldassaro in 5th. So a bit of a change around here of the order. But I tell you what, I don't think the lag's really helping, Quentin.
Exactly. I know that Mike Anderson here, he's going to be relishing this. He's been very impressive in FS2 in this. He's recently couple of races into his FS1 career, and he's had a few decent finishes, podiums or nearly podiums, points finish on his debut in FS1, but now he's already up here in his 4th race at FS1, leading a Grand Prix.
Yeah, indeed. No, yeah, Mike Anderson, very quick driver, as we've seen. He's proven that in FS2, which becoming a bit of a growing category, that one. There's a lot of drivers in that one now, but I think they're regularly having around 20 cars actually in that one, more than this, more than the FS1 series, which has always been interesting. But yeah, FS2 quite popular series now. Mike really been showing his stuff there. And yeah, very impressive. And here he's leading, actually beating, Sandeep Chodhary, who's a very experienced foe. Is getting so much lag at my end. I don't know if that's showing in the BC, but I'm getting a lot of lag. So apologies if it's a bit hard to tell what's going on, but we are doing our best here in these circumstances. But yes, Mike's still leading at the moment, or was still leading. Apparently now Sandeep's ahead. I don't know what's going on at the moment. I suspect that's timing. So Mike, I believe, is still ahead. No, I don't know. Oh, hang on. There's always been a crash. It's Baldessaro and Theodore and Nico. Sorry, down the back straight. They've had a big crash. I don't know what's happened there. Let me have a look here and try and decipher. Oh, Baldessaro went round and Nikos has gone straight into him. God, that's a big crash. See if I can try and figure out what happened there. That's very odd. Yeah, Baldessaro down the back straight just loses the front wing, and then Nikos has got nowhere to go. Goes straight into him, and now he's limping around without a wheel. So dramas here at this Singapore race, as we thought. We kind of expected this one to be a bit of one of attrition. It looks like it's proving so. Yeah, so Baldessaro's got heavy damage. He's trying to limp around, as is Nikos. They're both trying to limp around to the pit lane. I don't know if Nikos is going to be able to repair that damage. Having a wheel replaced is always kind of dodgy in these cars, but he'll certainly try, I'm sure. But yeah, no dramas here. That's going to help Sam now, as he's going to now gain 2 more positions. That puts him back in the points. So big stuff for Sam. He'll be very, very happy to see that for his own championship battle's sake anyway. But yeah, so Mike's still leading at the moment. He's got about half a second on Sandeep, according to my timing. But the screens are a little bit dodgy at the moment. There's lag galore at my end. I don't know if it's showing on the BC. It might be my end, but I think it is the server being a little bit unstable, as apparently it has been for much of this night. But hopefully it'll sort of stabilise as the race goes on. But yes, Mike leading still, and it's now about 7 seconds back to Theodorus. The top two are absolutely galloping away at the moment. And actually, Theodorus is slowly but surely being reeled in by Jared at the moment in the second Hinds Motorsport car. So that's good stuff for him, and that's actually quite a gap back to Mitsalis there. Now is obviously with the dramas of Baldessaro and Nikos. They are still limping around, by the way, at the moment. Hopefully they don't get in the way of the leaders who are coming around. They've got a long way to go before they catch them, but it would be a bit of a shame if they do get in the way, but I don't think they will. They're very sensible drivers. But yes, no drama starts here, Quentin. This has been quite something. You've got Sam going around and the crash there between Baldessaro and Nikos. It is a lot of drama here in the start of this FS1 race.
Exactly, but we half expected it. It's Singapore. It's a bit like Monaco with all the closed walls and whatnot, street circuit. And it's just the nature that drivers are going to struggle. And considering that we've got massive temperatures, or very high temperatures here, tyres are going to be very difficult to look after. So it's not like an ordinary, proper built racetrack which we're visiting now. We're on ordinary streets, and these cars are not really designed to go on an ordinary street. So these drivers are having to work themselves really hard.
Indeed, no, and actually Nikos is out of the race now in the Everest GP car. I just saw him going to the wall again. He actually lost his other front wheel, so can't really go around with a 2-wheel wagon, unfortunately. He can limp around with a 3-wheel wagon, not a 2-wheeled, so unfortunately he's now out of the race, which is a real shame for him. Baldessaro really limping. In fact, he's stopped on the side of the track near the pit lane too. He's very close to getting around, but he looks like he's stopped. And it may be an engine failure, I'm not entirely sure, but he's just stopped on the track there, so maybe retirement. We'll see in the next sort of few minutes, maybe, if that's retirement. But yes, drama stuff here. And now Sam, by the way, back up to 9th now, thanks to all this. So he's already managed to make up most of his spot, or quite a few spots, which is really helping. Yep, there goes Baldessaro. Retirement for him as well. So 3 retirements already at the start of this race. A lot of attrition, I'm sure, will go on throughout this race. And actually, Sandeep's leading. While we've been looking away, Sandeep's taken the lead from Mike Anderson. So Sandeep now leads the way. He's got about 2 seconds on Mike. I'm not sure if that was a mistake on Mike's part. I'm just trying to... I'll go back and see if I can find this, because Mike was leading relatively comfortably from Sandeep. I'll have a look. I reckon it was a mistake. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It looks like it was a planned move. From my point of view, in the Sector 3, he pulled over to let Sandeep pass. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I just looked back too. It did look like a suspiciously easy move. It didn't look like he made a mistake. Like, he didn't go into the wall, he didn't lose the back end. It looked to me like he just kind of moved over, which is very interesting indeed to see. He had the lead, and being Singapore, it's quite a hard place to pass, so I would have thought you'd hold on to it, but maybe Mike's got another plan here, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting, D. But Sandeep, remember, is in that fight for Sam, so maybe even Mike knows this and has gone, look, you take the lead, and seeing as you're in the championship hunt, maybe I'll let you have those extra points so you can have a better chance against Sam. Yeah, maybe there's some into stuff going on there. Maybe I'm not sure. We don't know here on the BC, but it's possible that maybe there's a little bit of that going on. Maybe Sandeep trying to get some extra points there, and maybe Mike just letting him go so he can get some points against Sam. But either way, it means Sandeep is leading, although Mike's already taken 7/10 out of Sandeep as it is, so Mike already closing back onto the back of him already. In fact, he's almost on the back of him within a few laps, so that's interesting to see. Mike apparently looking like he's actually quicker than Sandeep, and yeah, he's still let him go. So, yeah, interesting stuff. It has championship implications, sorry, either way. Which is all very interesting indeed. But yeah, very interesting stuff. So in the pits, by the way, is Jared Van der Weyde. He's already into lap 5. So that's a very, very short stint on those super soft tyres. It's interesting to see. He should pop out right behind. Looks like he's going to pop out behind Menno. I'll have a look. No, he's going to pop out behind Mitsales there. So pops back out in 7th spot on medium now. So he's going to be on the medium compound tyre. It should be a longer stint on that one. I will actually, since we've got these very wonderfully done notes, thanks to Quentin for these very detailed notes, I must say. There's a lot of info here that will keep us very busy throughout this broadcast if we have any quiet periods. But apparently the reported stint length of the Supersoft is 7 laps, so a little bit of a short stint than I was expecting there from Jared, so maybe just suffering from some high levels of tyre deg, which is possible, maybe with the, obviously with the full load fuel, possibly is a bit of a higher tyre deg period for him, so maybe that's why he's had to come in early, and apparently the medium 12 laps is the reported stint length. So if that's correct, we should be halfway through the stint here, and it should mean that it should be a 3-stop race for the drivers if that reported stint length is correct. But I wonder if if that is correct, that means they'll go through to lap 36 on 3 stops, which means they've got about 4 extra laps, which is a bit of an awkward kind of overlap. So I'm going to be interested to see if maybe people try and extend that and possibly try and do a 2-stop. I mean, I'm expecting the tyres to be pretty trashed by the end of those stints, but it would save you a stop. So yeah, I'm interesting to see. I mean, as we know, I mean, this track very much strategy plays a very important part with how hard it is to overtake here. But I don't know, what are you thinking? Do you think 3 stops going to be the one to go, or do you reckon maybe the 2 stops what people are going to look for?
In my opinion, you're going to have to go for a 3-stop because the tyre wear here, the temperatures are so high, and the amount of heat and energy going through these tyres, they're wearing out really quickly. And these tyres being so sensitive, as soon as you get past a certain point, they lose all grip, and there's no way of getting it back. And some drivers were complaining that they were losing almost a second and a half as soon as they hit that cliff. So it's whether or not those that can drive it really kindly with their tyres, they're going to perform well and may be able to do a 2-stop, but some and most will probably go for 3, possibly 4-stop if they go all the way on super softs.
Yeah, indeed. No, it's very true. Yeah, I probably agree because it is going to be, as we know, it is a very high deg track, so trying to extend the tyres will be a very hard thing to do. By the way, while I was looking around there, Jared got past Mitzalis there on track, so he's now back up in the full spot, which is where he was before, but of course he stopped, and the 2 behind him have not, or have they? Because I think, is Theodorus stopped, or did he make a mistake, Quentin? Because I didn't see that, because he's now behind Mitzalis apparently, so is he stopped for tyres? Possibly, I'm assuming.
No.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the times. Yeah, 2:02. I'm going to hazard a guess that he may have. I think he may have stopped for tyres. Actually, we'll soon see at the end of this lap what the first sector is. The first sector is slower. We know he's done for tyres. He just got past Mitzalis, though, there into the right-hander. Riddle will move up the inside in that United Autosports car. So I reckon he may have stopped, which means if he has, Jared's actually jumped him in the pit stop phase, which is interesting to see. He's done the undercut on him and made it work, which is interesting to see. Sandeep, by the way, is just pitted too. He's just exiting now. He's going to come out in 2nd spot ahead of Owen Golding, who is still going along. And again, that's actually quite short. It was on the medium compound. He's only gone 7 laps. That's a very short stint there from Sandeep, which is interesting to see. Possibly tyre wear a little bit more, a little higher than we thought, possibly here at this track. I'm just going to look at Theodorus' sector time. Yeah, 39 seconds, yep. So fairly sure Theodorus is pitted. So there you go. Jared's managed to jump him in the stops. Very impressive stuff there from the Hins Motorsport driver. A bit of strategy at play there. It's our first look at it already, and he now moves into what should be effective third after Owen Pitts. So there you go. Interesting scenes here at this race. And it's going to be interesting. Oh, hello, who's that? Gonzalez is out. Ooh, retirement with an accident for the BRM car. Ooh, okay, yeah, ooh, that's a nasty one. He actually, by the looks of it, he's broken into turn one, hit the curb. So he's broken on the curb there, which has locked up his tyres. He's gone straight into the wall in turn one, lost his right rear tyre, and that's been the end of his race. So a real shame for the BRM driver there, as he's looking like some good points on the cards, but it's a real shame for him. Menno and Sam pitting as well, by the way, as they come out now. Actually, Menno's got Sam right behind him. They both come out on the Super Soft too, which is interesting to see. So differing strategies here. We already have 9 drivers left in this race. Already the attrition rate playing a factor with 4 retirements already, but yeah, interesting stuff indeed, I must say. As Mike has also stayed out, by the way, so he's staying out in that car. I think him and Owen, I'm pretty sure, are the only two who haven't stopped now at this point of the race. Yep, Mike goes in now, so he's going to react to Sandy pitting potentially, and I'll be keeping an eye on Owen, seeing what he does. But yeah, I think the battle to watch now is probably going to be the one for third, actually, with Jared and Theodorus. Theodorus seems to have closed back up on Jared. It's hard to tell what's going on, actually. There we go. Yep, there was a bit of a lag moment. But yep, Jared's got Theodorus on him once again. So that battle is recommencing as, yep, Sandy goes back into the lead. And Mike has taken a very long pit stop. That is interesting to see. Actually, he's dropped a long way behind Sandy. He's a good 10 seconds or so behind Sandy. Now, he actually is going to come under the pump from his own teammate nearly as they go along. Now, there's Theodorus right on the back of Jared. He's having a look down the inside of turn one. It looks like he has the move done. Yeah, he pretty easily actually has the move done on the Hinza Motorsport driver. He now reclaims that third spot for the United Autosports team. But yeah, that's interesting. That was a very slow stop from Mike there. Is it potentially damaged, Quentin? Is there damage I missed there, or was that just a bit of a longer stop?
Well, he did pull the suspicious move where he pulled over. He could have hit the wall at that point, so that may have been giving him damage, and he's just been able to drive through it. But perhaps his pit crew thought that it needed repairing, so he had to wait the 10 seconds for it to be repaired.
Yeah, no, yeah, that would make sense. He's on the back of Owen Golding either way, and yeah, he's going to get Owen actually, I think, just letting him go there, which is fair enough. Owen's on a alternate. Oh, dearie, actually, Mike just going off there, went straight into the wall, and it's side by side to chicane these two now as they go through the latter half of the lap. They look like they've made it. Hopefully Mike doesn't have damage from that. I think he did touch the wall. It looked like he went a bit deep into the left-hander there, and he may have nipped the wall. I'll just check on board here, see if I can see how his wheel looks. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. I reckon he may have slight steering damage. I've got to be honest. It looks to me like that wheel is cooked to the right a little bit. I reckon he may have steering damage in that Hinza Motorsport car, which is a real shame if he has that. It means he might even... Yeah, that's interesting. That could affect him at the next pit stop. Yeah, I reckon he's definitely got steering damage. It looks to me like that wheel is a little bit to the right. Obviously, a bit of a tough time here for Mike. It looks like he's just struggling a little bit with the cars. I think he did touch the wall there. And these cars, obviously quite fragile cars, so they do take damage quite easily. As actually, there you go, Theodorus now getting past Owen, and also Jared. Yep, Owen pitting now, so he's just peeled off now. He's felt like that is the time to pit. Oh, I thought he went out of the pit lane. There was just a bit of lag, but yes. Now he pits now, and he's, I believe, was the last one to pit. So he goes the longest on those tyres. Interesting to see. So obviously he's got a pretty good car setup for tyre wear, which could play a part later in the race. We'll keep an eye on that for you, but that could play a little bit of a role later on in the race as we go along. Either way, yeah, interesting stuff. So that means that Mike now 17 seconds off Sandeep. Sandeep's got a lovely gap now in the lead of the race. He's got 17 seconds back to Mike, and then it's about another 3 seconds back to Theodorus and Jared, who are battling over that final podium spot. And they got about 15 seconds back to Owen Golding. That's Tamas, who's just pitted in the FSR car. He's going to drop down to, I would say, 8th or 9th, I would suspect, in that car. So now Sandeep back up to 6th. There you go. So Sam up to 6th. Now in this charge back to the field, so having a good little recovery here. But he is a long way behind Theodorus, who's actually apparently the next car. Oh, that's lag, right? I think it's lag. He's actually up in 3rd, so disregard that. Next car is actually Owen Golding. He's about a good 16 seconds clear up the road. So it's a bit of a gap to close in, but Sam does have very good pace, and he's on the option tyre. So he's going to be closing at quite a fast rate. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how he goes in this sort of last 30 laps of the race, how much more he can close up. And there's Menno Clont in 7th, who's just behind him, but he's dropping back slowly. So as Sam's superior pace is coming through. And yeah, it's Thomas who's just come out ahead of Francis there in that battle for 8th at night at the back of the field, and then that is it. Only 9 of them left out of the 13 that started. A lot of retirements here, but we kind of expected that here at Singapore. We know it's a race of attrition and it is showing through at the moment. But it is Sandy leading. He's got a gap, as we said, to Mike. It is 18 seconds now. Yeah, 18 seconds, just opening a little bit actually in that last lap. Theodorus now in third. He's actually gapped Jared now. He's managed to get up out of that 1 second window, so no more DRS for Jared. So a bit of a shame there, but I'm sure he'll be trying to come back at him as the race goes on. And yes, everyone's a little bit spaced now, all sort of in their own space as we go along now. And yes, there you go, we're a quarter of the way through the race, by the way, 11 laps, or just over actually, 11 and 40 laps done, so we're just over a quarter of the way done. And yeah, so there you go, a bit of a break after the drama that has been the first 11 laps. So tell you what, I don't know, I think this race hasn't really disappointed. I mean, you had the Sam spin, you've had the retirements, and you've had the Menno crash from the lead. Sandy leading now. There's been plenty of variables that have really shown themselves in this race.
Exactly, I think this race may well be the turning point for the championship. We may look back at the 2015 season and say that Singapore was the race that decided the championship, because in recent races, in the last 5 races, T4 have actually lost a 43-point lead in the championship. Adonis have made up 43 points in the last 5 races, which is a fair old amount. So it's whether or not the T4 guys can prevent and do anything in the latter races, whether or not they can keep that lead and hopefully build it.
Yeah, indeed. No, I agree. Sorry, excuse me, just getting a little bit of a refreshment there. Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how Sam bounces back from this one. I mean, there's still a long way to go, and there's still the attrition rate, as we said, can always play a factor. So you never know, you might with the retirements get back up towards sort of third or fourth, even if the retirements do become that severe. But I don't know. I think it's going to have to take retirements, because if there's no more, then I reckon the best he could probably do is maybe get on Golding, and so I think that's probably the best he could get if there's no more retirements. But it is Singapore, so you always expect more retirements to occur. But if there aren't any, yeah, as I said, I think Alan Golding is probably the best he could hope for to recover to, because yeah, he's got about, there's actually Owen just going wide to turn 1, which only helps Sam closing on him. So it's about 12 seconds. So it's going to be a little bit less now, as Owen made that mistake in turn 1. So it'll probably be around about 10 seconds now. But then after him, it's quite a gap up to the top 4, who are quite a ways ahead of the rest of the field. So yeah, I think 5th's the best you could hope for without retirements. And if Sandeep wins, that is a lot of points Sandeep's going to gain on Sam, which is really going to affect that championship. As you said, I do think that maybe if that occurs, it could be a turning point here at this race here at Singapore. Something that in looking at, just looking to the notes here while we've got a little bit of a quiet period, GBR have got 2 out of 3 strikes for team attendance, and not here again for this round. So I believe that should be all their strikes for team attendance. So a bit of a worry for the GBR team. They'll probably want to work on that to make sure that they can stay in the championship and keep fighting. So they're going to have to look at their attendance there. More interesting things in terms of at-risk licenses as well. Obviously, you've got 2.0 is the license limit, and you get penalties generally. You give out license points, and obviously if you get above that 2 mark, then you're going to get a pit lane start or a penalty or something like that. And I believe the one who's closest is actually Vansis. He's 1.99. So much at this point, if he so much as breathes in the wrong area, he's probably going to get a penalty for it. So very, very close to getting a pit lane start potentially is Vansis. So he's going to have to be careful about that. I don't think I've seen him get involved in anything too much this race. He's actually just getting out of the way of Mike Anderson there. He goes a lap down, but I don't think I've seen him get involved in too much. So I don't think he's going to be at too much of a risk at the moment. But yeah, just something to keep in mind there. The license is a thing. Apart from him, other ones that are actually here racing, Theodorus is the next closest on 1.45. So he's still got a bit of leeway there before he'd have to worry about penalties. Excuse me. But yes, no. And we've also got a lot of interesting things going on for next season, which I think we'll discuss soon as we go. Again, we're on this sort of quiet period now as everyone's kind of spaced out a little bit. Theodorus is holding on to third still, so that battle is still kind of at a stalemate at the moment as Jared's just kind of holding off the end. It's about 1.3 seconds thereabouts between those two. So Jared's thereabouts, but he's just not quite seeming to be quick enough to really challenge Theodorus. So Yeah, interesting stuff to see there. And as I said, Sandeep's still leading. Mike pretty much keeping the gap at about 18, 17 seconds, so he's pretty much keeping it stale there. And the gap actually between Owen and Sam is still 13 seconds, so that is interesting to see that Owen's actually keeping that gap to Sam, which is a bit of a worry for Sam if he wants to really try and minimise the damage Sandeep can do to his championship lead at this point in the race. But yeah, no, so 9 of them left in this race, only one of them a lap down. Yeah, it's all pretty cruisy at the moment. We're in this sort of quiet period, and yeah, I don't know. Oh, hang on, who's that? Oh, well, it's Jared there getting very close to the back of Theodorus into the chicane. I'll just have a look at that again. I was just looking through the cameras when I saw that. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah, Jared, I think, is going a bit deep in the chicane, nearly out the back of Theodorus there. So a very close moment between those two as they go along. Actually, quite close now, Jared. Apparently, it seems to have really closed in this lap, particularly. I think it was about 1.3 seconds to start the lap. It's about 5/10 thereabouts now as they go through the final corner. Although Jared, they're going a little bit wide out of the last corner. That's cost him time and I think a chance of having it go into turn 1. Yeah, he's not close enough to have a look. So, yeah, so Theodorus keeps a hold of that. But yeah, no, it's interesting times right now as we go along. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of wanting to talk about the rumours that are going around about next year. But at the moment, this battle for third is a little bit juicy. So I think we'll keep on this battle. Ooh, Jared looking like he may have gone to the wall there out of the right-hander on the straight. I'll just have a look at his steering again. Maybe he has a little bit of steering damage. Potentially, it looks like his wheel might be a little bit put to the right. But I could be just seeing things there. It might be the lag, if anything else. But yeah, no, interesting times, isn't it, Quentin? As, we've got Sandeep sort of keeping the gap. He's pretty much got it easy now, doesn't he? He's just got to really keep his head clean, and the victory is pretty much assured at this point.
Exactly, but let's not forget this is a very long race and there's plenty of laps to go, so even Sandeep could make a mistake and suddenly the whole championship could be flipped on its head again.
Yeah, no, very true, very true. I mean, you're right, Sandeep known for his very consistent and very pacey nature. We know he's a very fast, very talented driver. As he's not just here, he's also proved at various other leagues, around the sim racing communities. So very, very talented driver. But yeah, it is, even the most talented, as we saw Sam on the first lap, even the most talented make mistakes. And it does happen. And it's a lot of time when you least expect it. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Sam, as by the way, did pit again just then. So he's gone to medium compound tyres now. So he's gone off the super soft onto the medium. Which, by the looks of it, I reckon it's probably about 8-9 laps on the medium. I suspect tyre wear is actually a bit higher than people were expecting. So I reckon you'll only go to probably just over halfway on those tyres. It may be a 4-stop. I mean, if the tyre deg is as bad as it's seemingly being, it may even be a 4-stop race, which would be interesting to see if it is that many stops. A very, very high stop race. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see. Is that battle for third still going on? They're still relatively close, Jared and Theodorus, but they're not really able to make any moves at the moment. Although Theodorus seems to be struggling a little bit. It's possible maybe he's struggling on tyre wear. Maybe Jared's a little bit better on those tyres. As he's got a really nice exit out of the right-hander there. He's right behind Theodorus. Got DRS here down the straight. He should surely have a look down the inside. The next corner, he throws it to the right-hand side. Is he going to have a look? He has a look, but no, he's not going to do it. He just tucks back in behind. Some smart play there. Didn't go for the dive. He could have had to go there, but obviously realising that maybe throwing the race away isn't the best idea here. So he's going to take his time. There's plenty of racing left, as we said. We've got 25 laps left, so we're not even halfway yet in this race. Plenty of time to make a move, so it's better to be patient, I think, at this point than to throw away the race doing a risky move down the inside. He's really right behind Theodorus. I reckon he might have a chance in the near future there. He looks like he's much faster at the moment. As I said, Theodorus may be just struggling on tyres, potentially, which may be why Jared is all over the back of him in that Hin's Motorsport car. Ooh, nearly contact there. Jared having to take evasive action there as he nearly got the back of Theodorus out of the hairpin there. So Jared looking like he's really quite clearly faster than the United Autosports car ahead of him. But just not able to make moves stick. It is Singapore, as we said, very hard track to pass. So, it's not exactly easy to make an overtake here, even if you are, quite clearly faster than the car ahead of you. So, going to have a battle ahead, but yeah, that's probably the closest battle of those two there over that third spot. Everyone else, quite spaced apart really elsewhere in the field. Interesting note, Mike is actually closing in slowly but surely on Sandeep. It's down to 16.5 seconds now. It was about 18 seconds at the start of the stint. And geez, I can. Theodorus and Jared, they looked like they were side by side through the chicane, but no move made. Although Theodorus is in that United Autosports racing car. He now pits from third spot. And so that will be his second stop of the race. We'll see what he goes on. I suspect he's going to go on the medium. I think the medium looks to be the favoured compound here because of how much longer it lasts than the super soft. Let's have a look. He goes in and yep, looks like it's medium again. So medium wants more Theodorus. Very quick stop with that, very lightning fast. Nice stop for him. He's going to come out in some lovely clean air too. Look at that, in fifth spot with absolutely no one around him. He's going to love that. As Mel also pits below for, I believe his second, yep, second stop. And what will he go on to? Onto the medium, yep. So I suspect the medium compound is probably going to be the one that everyone will jump onto now, seeing as we are at this point of the race where you want to try and minimise the amount of stops you're doing compared to everyone around you. But yes, very interesting times here as we're 16 and 40 laps in. And yeah, everyone sort of, as I said, a bit spaced when people have stopped. And so I'm going to keep an eye on Jarek, so I'm interested to see where he'll pop out. Theodorus is the one that's done the other one on him, which is the opposite to what it was the first stint. But yes, no, it's been a quite interesting race with him. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how this one finishes because we've got people varying pace, but I don't know. What are you thinking that's going through Sam Howe's mind now? Because obviously he's down in sixth spot. He's sort of going to be losing a buckload of points potentially to Sandeep. What do you think is going through his mind at this point in the race after that lap one blunder?
Honestly, I believe he won't be focusing on the championship. He'll just be focusing on driving as well as he can and trying to get as much and get the best result he can from this race, and then later look at the championship and see how it's affected him. But of course, we've still got over half the race to go, so anything can happen, and anything probably will happen.
Yeah, and just speak of anything happening, Owen Golding is out of the race. He's just retired with suspension damage in that Insignia car. Trying to go back and see what happened here. It looks like it was a long time ago. I don't even know what happened here. It's an interesting one. Oh, what was that? Was that lag? I honestly can't tell. I don't know where he's had this incident because I'm going back ages and there's still no contact. So that is a very weird one. I mean, he's probably had damage for a while. I mean, as we know, this track is very hard to not hit the walls at because it is Singapore. So I suspect that's damage he's had for a while. But it looks to me, hang on, although what was that? Oh, okay, yeah. It looks like out of hairpin he may have just tapped the wall there. I wouldn't have. Didn't look to me like damage was too severe. Ooh, although he does go straight on at the. Yeah, he goes straight on at the right hander there, and then just parks up and retires, which is a bit weird. Oh, right, okay, so we're gonna man Sam Markham, by the way, who's in the TS. He's just sort of watching over the race for us, keeping an eye on things if anything happens, and he thinks it's a brake failure, which would make sense. It did look like the brakes just didn't work on him. He just went straight on that right hander, and then went down the escape road. So I do suspect. There you go. Yep. So I reckon it looks like possibly a brake failure, and apparently Owen couldn't go into reverse. So there you go. So he was stuck in first, and he couldn't turn around. So that's a real shame for the Insignia driver. He's looking like he could have got some solid points. That means he's retired now. He's the fifth retirement now of the race, and that leaves us with 8 drivers left. And that's even for Sam. Because look at that, he is now up in 5th spot. So there you go, Sam Howe. Loving that. That's just another free spot for him. As Mike Anderson, by the way, is in the pit lane and in for Super Softs. There you go. So Mike now jumping on the Super Soft tyres for this stint as we go along. And by the way, Jared has pitted and he has come out actually even further behind Theodorus there in that battle for 3rd spot. Sam is closer to them both, but of course he's yet to do another stop, so you've got to keep that in mind. But yeah, no, there you go. Interesting stuff there. Owen out of the race. Real shame for him because he was looking pretty, relatively consistent. Looking like he could have got some good points for the Insignia team. But unfortunately, it's come to an end just before the halfway mark here as we are 45% done apparently of the race, and we are not far off halfway through. But yes, there's a bit of a quiet time now of this race. Everyone's in their own space. So I'm going to take this opportunity because I think it's really exciting. We've got a whole bunch of rumours flying around at the moment about next year. But I reckon we should have a look at the next year and the sort of rumours going around at the moment. So I've got a whole bunch of notes here on the sort of things happening in the next season. And yeah, a lot of interesting things going on next year, isn't it, Quentin? You've had a lot of rumours going around. There's people, moving teams possibly, and new teams maybe entering the league as well. It's all quite interesting at this point of the season. It's a bit like a silly season in Formula 1 at this point, isn't it, Quentin?
Exactly. We've got 4 races after this one left. We're into October now, and while the 2016 season may not kick off for another 5 months, everyone's trying to get everything sorted. Teams are trying to get drivers in, trying to get the best drivers and whatnot. Drivers are trying to find seats and where they want to be. So it's a matter of everyone's looking around at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, that's very true. Yeah, so let's have a look here at these things. So I've got, I'm just assuming everything on these notes can be talked about. So keep in mind, there's all just rumours and hearsay at the moment, so none of this is confirmed. But apparently, according to my notes here, and I'm sure Quentin can confirm for me, being the T4 man himself, apparently T4 have got a confirmed drivers lineup for next year. Expecting an announcement in the next few months on that, and I'm assuming is that confirmed, Quentin?
I can confirm it. Yeah, we have got a 2016 lineup sorted. I'm
Uh,
happy with, very very happy with it. So looking forward to announcing both drivers in the coming months.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, it's good to have that sorted this early on in the season. That's very, very nice to hear for the guys who are leading constructors at the moment in the FS1 series. Also, a new team, hopefully, Edge Engineering, hoping to get into FS1 next year. Team owners that, Eric Stanford and Jared Vanderway. They are hoping to get into FS1 next season in that new team, and obviously probably FS2 as well, as is the requirement. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go and what drivers they'll have. So that's possibly an announcement that we'll hear about in the coming months. And the other one as well, which we actually were just talking about before the broadcast started with Sam earlier, excuse me, is the survival insignia. Apparently, rumours going around at the moment that insignia may not be insignia come the start of next season. Apparently, the ownership of that team is possibly in doubt. We may see a new face on that team, possibly even a new name on that car. So that's something to keep an eye out on that team. I mean, they've had a pretty good run this season, relatively good, good point, consistent point results in the top server, and I believe they had a race win as well. They did at Laguna in one of the special rounds of this season. I believe they had a race win with, I'm just going to try and find who it is on my notes. Give me one momento.
I
was Owen
think
Golding, yeah.
it was Owen Golding. He got it.
It was, yes.
It was his
yes,
sole win this season at Laguna after Stephen Mitchell crashed on the final lap, I think.
That's right, yeah, I believe it was, yeah, from memory. Yeah, it was a very, very dramatic finish to that one, so I do remember we did do a broadcast of that one, but yes. No, that was interesting indeed. But yeah, they have had a win in FS1 and they've been very strong in FS2. Sam Martin's been on a winning streak in FS2, the man who's in with us here, keeping an eye on the race at the moment. So they've been very strong in FS2, actually challenging his motorsport for the team constructors. That's a little juicy battle going on in FS2. So they've been pretty strong, really. Not been anything wrong with their form or their attendance. They've been quite good, but even so, apparently there are still rumours going around that maybe that could be a different team name even, so a different look team, like a rebrand nearly of the team come next year. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes, next coming months. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see that even a team that really has been quite consistent, turned up consistently, has been good on attendance, has got good points, has got wins in FS1 and FS2, is still possibly going to be rebranded.
Exactly, but we're not just looking at insignia. There's also rumours that Adonis might not even return next year, and considering that they're fighting for the championship, and if Sandy keeps going the way he's going, driving in first position now, they're going to take the championship lead. It's surprising to be talking about them that they're not going to be on the 2016 grid, because the rumour has it that Sandy Choda may not actually return next year because of life commitments and whatnot, and as a result the team owner Mano Cron may not choose to enter a team, may not choose to enter Adonis back into SimLeague FS1 again.
Indeed. Sorry, just doing a little bit of team management here. I'm just doing a little bit of engineering here real quick. Sorry about this, just really quickly doing this. Wait for that. Right. Okay, cool. Right. Back to this. Yeah, no, it's very true, isn't it? May not even have Sandy next year, which would be very interesting indeed, because as we know, he's one of the championship contenders. It'd be very different to not have Sandy, I suspect, in this league, and whether Adonis will be here or not next year is another thing as well. There's a whole bunch of variables that could change. Yeah, so yeah, as the notes has just said there, yeah, so he sort of controls the fate of the team, on whether they re-enter the next season. I mean, obviously Sandy Mino for Adonis, been partnered up for this season and sort of, doing pretty well for the Adonis team in FS1, as we've seen. They are up there just behind Tay for the constructors, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see that maybe maybe they won't be around next year. It will depend on sort of what Sandy does and what Menno does with that. If he's got a replacement in mind, or if he's not really willing to bring in a new face to the team and possibly have them not compete next year. So that's something we'll keep an eye out on. But that would be very interesting indeed. For a team that has performed quite well this season in both FS1 and FS2. And yes, no, very interesting indeed. GBR racing as well. There's another one that's sort of under rumours at the moment, whether they'll return or obviously Eric and Jared both co-own that team, so maybe they might come in as also a new sort of rebranded team. So a few rebranded teams possibly on the cards next year. We'll have to see as we go along, as we get closer and closer and closer to next season. And also, one I found interesting, and this is, it could be again. This is all hearsay, but it's possible. Maybe we might have Deltic Racing possibly entering the league next year, which would be really interesting because Deltic is a quite an established team. They've been, I know them in GPV, WC. They're quite an established team there, and they've got the backing of Armoroli, and they've got a very very large roster of drivers, that they can call upon. So they're definitely got the drivers, they've got the experience. It'd be very interesting to see if they do enter, because as I said, they are a very experienced team, they're a very well established team in the sim racing world. So if they can enter the league, it would really, I think, boost the league to have such a sort of prestigious team in FS1 and FS2, and maybe even FS3 if they decide to enter that as well. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. I mean, what are your thoughts on that one, Quentin? Do you think do you think it's possible they would be considering this and actually entering, or do you think it's maybe something that wouldn't be high on their priority list?
Speaking to the team owner, he's very interested in it, and considering that 3 of their drivers have recently signed up to race in FS2, I know that one of their drivers is racing for T4, and another one is the team owner, Marius. He's racing in a spare car in FS2, and they've already given that commitment, so I suspect that they'll go one further and then bring Deltec Racing into SimLeague, which will be incredible to see a very large sim racing team fighting it out with some of the other established sim racing teams here at SimLeague already.
Yeah, indeed, no, exactly right. And as I said, hang on. Action on track. Mike Anderson's just gone round. He's just gone to the wall out of the right-hander. It looks like his front wing is still attached. Yep, front wing's still... I don't know how it's still attached after that. It looked like it was a pretty hefty whack to the wall. How bad's the steering damage? I can't... Yeah, it's really bad. He's got a puncture. Yeah, there you go. Mike Anderson is second place, having a really nice race. He's in a nice little bit of his own, too. He's in his own little space there, having dropped off the back of Sandy, but managed to sort of gap Theodorus and Jared, but he's just gone, wide. There you go. So he's gone through the right hand. He's gone a bit wide, apparently a little bit too soon, and round he goes into the wall. And that is a real shame for him after having a really strong start. He's going to drop back now. Oh boy, he's got Tamas coming up behind him. He's trying to go around. Oh yeah, I thought he was going to the wall there, but he continues on. He has got quite a gap back to Theodorus though, so maybe he can manage to limp that one back and at least stay in the top 4 would be good. But yeah, real shame for Mike. He was looking very strong in that Hinds Motorsport car, but just a little bit of a lapse of concentration, and the Singapore track bites again, as we've seen multiple times already in this race, Clinton.
Exactly, and he's a young kid, and he's just still getting the experience of FS1, and he's already fighting up at the top with the likes of Sandy Choda and Sam Howe, who have been here for God knows how many seasons. It must have been about 5 years now. So they have a wealth of knowledge to call upon, and Mike is doing an impressive job.
Yeah, indeed, no, I agree. Yeah, he's doing a very impressive job for Hinds Motorsport after Rory Collins has been absent the last few rounds. He's been filling in for the team. Been very impressive indeed. But yeah, real shame for him. He's now going to limp it back to pit lane. He's managed to get back to pit lane, which is the main thing. So it's good stuff from him to manage to limp that one back round. And as I said, he's definitely going to drop behind Alright, no, Jared's, that was just lag. I thought he dropped back, but no, he's just lagged. But he's pitting as well, Jared is actually too. I hope that doesn't end up being a clash pit stop. That could be really awkward if they both have to be in the same pit box. Did they? No, they do not, I don't think. Maybe they do. They do. Oh, this is awkward for Jared. He's come in, and unfortunately, Jared's had to pit. I mean, sorry, Mike's had to pit, so Jared's now having to wait, stack in pit lane for his teammate to get repairs done. Then he can pit. This is really, really big for Jared. He's going to drop way down the field. There we go. He finally gets in the box. And I reckon he's going to be under pressure now from Sam. Sam may actually be able to jump him now. Sam obviously is a pit stop behind, so he's a little bit out of sync, but he's yet to stop. But I don't know, I reckon Jared could be under the pump from getting taken from Sam now with that little error. So things have gone from being very, very dandy for Hins Motorsport to being a little bit on the lesser so good side after that little bit of a mix-up in the pit lane, Quinn.
Exactly, and it's just fate, as commentators curse. I said that anything will happen and it usually will, and clearly it just has. And it's not. Sandeep's still jumping away, leaping away at the front. So you never know. He might suddenly have a crash or something. I hope not. I hope I haven't cursed it. Touch wood. But who knows who's next?
Yeah, indeed. No, it's all very interesting now as that just little variable just happened there. So a bit of a shame there for Jared. I mean, nothing you could do there. Just unlucky timing really. Just happened to pit right as Mike had to pit for repairs. So just really just the not luck of the Irish there. So a bit of a shame for him. But that's going to be interesting to see now as Mike is now behind Menno on track. Although where he's going to actually be, I'm not entirely sure because he's going to be quite out of sync now, having pitted sort of in the middle of a stint. So it's going to be a bit interesting to see how he goes. I'd suspect he's going to have 2 stops left, surely. Super soft maybe get him, or maybe 1. I mean, if he can stretch that super soft to about lap 30, 31, he might be able to get away with 1 stop. But I think that might be stretching it, judging from the tyre life that's been shown so far. Theodorus, by the way, just pitting the United Autosports team. He's going to come out behind Sam Howe in 3rd spot. And as you can see, that's going to be an effective 3rd as well. Or effective 2nd, sorry. Thanks to Mike's mistake. So that should be an effective 2nd for the United Autosports driver. Very, very solid race from him. As Theodorus has shown, he's quite a consistent driver and can be very fast on his day and very consistent, which is what he's showing here. And I think consistency is definitely the more favoured thing to have here at this particular track because of the nature of it. But yeah, a bit of drama here as we've just had a little bit of a quiet period and then a couple of little things going on there. But yeah, there you go. So everyone just quieting down a bit now. Everyone's just trying to get back into the groove after that little bit of drama. So yeah, everyone just quieting down now as we are now 65% through apparently, 26 out of 40 laps gone. So getting into the closing stages, or the latter half of this race. And yeah, Sandeep Chode at the moment leading by a long way from the guys behind. He's a minute 16 clear of Sam Howe as, oh boy, Theodorus is round. Oh boy, Theodorus there through the chicane. Looked like he had a bit of a mistake. I'll just try and recover this in the replay. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, too much curving. So he's taken the curb. And that's just sort of made the rear end get a bit loose. And then Roundy, he's nearly gone round. He managed to catch it. A good catch in the end. I've got to give him credit where it's due. But yeah, just struggling a little bit on those cold tyres perhaps. So managed to keep going though, and he's kept his position, which is the main thing. But a little bit of a hair-raising moment for the United Autosports racing driver. But yes, no. Interesting stuff for next season. A lot of different variables which could come up. Some new teams, maybe some established new teams as well, which would be really great for the league to have. A team of Deltek's size and influence in the league would be very nice indeed. Next bit up here in my notes, I'm going to let you say this, Quentin, because this is your part. This is the plain predictions, as we've called it. This is Quentin's predictions for drives for next season, for FS1, FS3, plus FS2 as well. Just a couple of different predictions for maybe teams, driver lineups for next year across the various series. So I'm going to let you say this one, Quentin, because this is your predictions. So what are predictions you've got for next season for us?
Well, I'll start with T4, who is leading the constructors at the moment, and I'm pretty sure that Sam Howe will continue on at T4. There's no reason for him to leave, really. The team helps him quite a lot and whatnot, so he'll probably continue on there. And there's a few people who may come in. Mike Baldessaro is impressive. He's a good driver. But there are faster drivers out there available, so it may be there's rumours that Mike Anderson is in talks with T4. However, he's also in talks with Hins Motorsport, so it's a matter of who's going to get him. But then T4 could just stick with their current lineup. We don't know yet. But then going down to Adonis, we were mentioning how that they couldn't, their fate for 2016 rests in what Sandeep Choda decides to do. So if Choda decides to drive next year in 2016, well, apparently he's got a lot more life commitments going on at that point, so he's gonna have less practice and whatnot. So he may be slower at that point. As we see Theodoros heading to the pits. Oh no, sorry. So alongside Sandeep Choda Adonis, we could see Menocron returning for his own team, but Menocron has got people in FS2, drivers in FS2, who could step up to the plate. So it just depends whether what it literally hangs on Sandeep Choda's head.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. That's very true. It's very true indeed. I'll say the next one because it is confirmed, apparently, according to my notes, is EJ Engineering, of course, of Eric Stanford and Jared Vanderwide. They're confirmed, I believe, for if they can get into FS1 and FS2 and presumably FS3 as well. I think they'll probably try and get into all the series as they can, but if they can get in...
They are confirmed for FS3, and it's quite likely that they'll get into FS1.
Okay, yep. Alright, so yes, that's probably the lineup we might be looking at. I'm sure that those two at least drive in some capacity for that team in at least a series. They might even race in maybe multiple of the three series together, potentially. I'm not sure what their plans are, and we'll obviously find that out as the months go on. I'll leave it back to you again to keep going through the predictions.
Right, United Autosport Racing, currently third in the championship. I reckon they will be returning with Theodoros. He's been a good driver for them. He's been impressive this season, getting a few podiums here and there, but he has been a bit on the edge. He's had 2 pit lane starts already, so he's collected over 4 penalty points already this season. But currently they have Joe Piera, the Portuguese, in who isn't here this week. But I believe Kenneth Ragland will step up from FS2 because he's a very quick driver. He pushes Theo, his team owner, his boss basically, very hard in FS2. So do I see Sam Harry? Did he just spin?
Oh, maybe look, I need to see this. I reckon he may have, yeah, because he was ahead of Theodoros, and then he did, into the left-hander at the end of the main straight. I reckon he just locked the rears. It looks to me like he's just locked the rears, and round he's gone. He nudges the wall too, and then rejoins behind Theodoros. So doesn't look like he's got damage. Sandy pitting as well. Good spot there from Sam, as he pits now back on the medium compound again. But he's so far ahead of everyone else at this point, he could probably have another 2 or 3 stops and he'd still be out in the lead. So he's got not much of a lead at the moment, Sandy, that he's just really commanding this race. But yeah, no, that was definitely a spin from Sam. But there you go. He's rejoined though, and I don't think he's got any major damage. But yeah, bit of an interesting moment there from Sam.
Exactly. Right, continuing with the planes predictions. Lovely feature. I think we should do it for FS2 next time.
Yes, definitely.
Hinz Motorsport. I would love to know who you've got in. Have you planned anyone yet?
For FS1, no. We'll talk from a personal point now. I'm usually try and be all professional, but seeing as we're going through the predictions, let's sort of have a chat about that. I don't think for FS1 I have anyone really lined up at this point. As we said, Mike, obviously we're in talks about that with Tay4, but aside from that, I don't really have anyone lined up. I'm still sort of trying to organise that, so I have to actually look into that. And FS2 I really haven't planned at all, so I've still got to look into that as well. But yeah, FS3, I know we have a driver set up for that. I think we have a second. I have to confirm that with the person I'm talking about. I'm fairly sure we have 2 drivers lined up. I know we have 1 at least, so there you go. I've got at least 1 in FS2 for sure, but maybe 2.
Right, interesting. I reckon I'm gonna suggest. I think you may find yourself with a Greek on your hands next year.
Ooh.
With Nikos. He's a very good driver. Last season he was getting podiums, and this season he got a few podiums and a few fourth places and some good points finishes early in the race, and he is a consistent driver. So I think he would fit well in at Hinds.
Okay. Yep. I'll take that in consideration.
And then I also think Jack Mayer, also, because I believe he may be one of your FS3 drivers. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he might be one. We're definitely one that he's one we're definitely looking at. I'll say that much. I'm not going to say anything else yet, but announcement on FS3 officially is probably going to be coming soon. So there you go. Keep an eye on our Facebook page for that. A little bit of advertisement.
Well, I reckon he will be driving in the green and yellow machine next year.
Right.
Moving on to Deltec. This is an interesting one because they have a very big driver lineup, or a massive amount of drivers that they can choose from. And I've been talking to the owner, Marius, about what his plans are if he got into FS1. Who would he put in the car? And apparently Adam Osger, is going to be leading the team alongside Dennis Mitchell. Now I know that Adam has been driving in FS2 for TAFOR, and he's quite quick. Has a little bit of bad luck in the past couple of races, but we'll find out what Dennis Mitchell, his pace. He's been practicing for the next FS2 race in Abu Dhabi, and his race pace is looking incredible. So it'll be interesting to see if that is their 2016 lineup, if they get in, of course. This is all rumours at the moment. Need to express that quite clearly. So, do you think that would be a good lineup?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Adam from GPV. He's raced quite a bit there, and I've raced against him. He's a very, very clean racer. I've seen never any issues with him. He's battled with him a few times at GPV when we've done Formula Challenge over there, and he's always been very clean, very gentlemanly racer from what I've seen. And yeah, he's quite quick, consistent. At GPV, he can get points pretty consistently on his day. So I think he could be a very good lineup. I reckon he'd do well in FS1 for sure. So I think he'd definitely one to look out for, and I'm sure Delta could be very keen to possibly have him on the team because he is a driver that that's been on the team for a while. He's driving for them in FC at GPV this year, and I believe he drove at GPV for Deltec in FC last year as well. So he's been driving for the team for a while. He's probably one of their main drivers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if I saw him at Deltec. And yeah, I would think he'd do well as well. And Dennis Mitchell as well. I've seen him as well at GPV, and he seems pretty good. Like I think he's also could be a good addition. I reckon he'd be up there too in FS1 in all honesty. So yeah, I think that would be a very strong lineup if they could get that, because I reckon they'll definitely be at the very least challenging for podiums and top fives pretty regularly, I'd say.
Exactly. I was speaking to Dennis Mitchell a few days ago, and he was saying that he loves the feeling from these cars. They're such a joy to drive. And a lot of drivers say that. They love these cars because there's just so much grip, but there's so much speed as well.
No, yeah, exactly right. As I'll just quickly look back to the race on track after all this prediction talk. We'll get back to that in a second to round that off. I'll just quickly have a look back because now Sam's on the back of Jared. So this is fourth spot. I'm fairly sure this is full position on track. So Jared's fallen in the clutches of Sam. Sam looking to the outside there. Now the inside, bit of lag happening, but Sam, a lot of lag happening there. They've just disappeared on my screen. So there we go. They've reappeared now. Oh, and they've disappeared. Yep, but a bit of lag here. I think on the server, it's been quite inconsistent this race. So apologies again if that is showing on the BC. Not much we can do about that. But Sam looks like he has made the move stick on Jared, so he now moves up to fourth spot, and Jared now down to fifth spot, Pins Motorsport, after having that hold up behind Mike in the pit lane. As Theodorus pits, by the way, again. For All Sports Racing, I reckon that might be his last stop because he should be able to make that mediums last for 7 or 8 laps. So I suspect that's Theodorus' last stop. He should come out right behind or with Sam. He might just beat out Sam. Let's have a look. Yes, he's just beaten out Sam on track. The lag is real on my screen. I don't know if that's showing on the broadcast. But yeah, Theodorus looks like he's just been out Sam there, which is good to see. So he now comes out there, and that should be effective second when everyone pits, of course. So he's obviously pitted, and Sam hasn't. So keep that in mind. But yes, Sam still leading now, about 50 seconds back to, or 55 seconds back to Mike. But a big lead for Sandy because he continues to dominate, and we'll go back to the predictions.
Right, let's move on to the next team. Brothers Racing Motorsport, BRM. Now this is an interesting one. Owned by Tony Mitzales, the Greek. It will be, I reckon he will be racing for his own team again next year, in 2016. Who comes to join him? That's interesting. Because we could see Stelios Vansis return back to the team. Because he's been racing for Insignia, but he started in 2015 racing for BRM. So it's whether or not he wants to return to effectively an all-Greek lineup, an all-Greek team.
Indeed. No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see. As I just did a little bit of ooh there because Mike nearly went to the wall again in the chicane there. He just managed to save it. I think he went to turn in, noticed he'd gone too deep, and actually flick spun it into the escape road because he noticed he was going to go straight into the wall. So it was actually a pretty good save, I've got to be honest, from Mike there. So he's managed to keep second, but he has dropped a good 7 or 8 seconds now, which is a bit of a shame. It may put him out of contention to, we'll see how that goes. I wonder if that'll affect his battles later on. But yeah, a bit of a moment there from Mike, I just noticed. A bit of a heartbreak moment, nearly, but he managed to save it. So good stuff as Jared pits, by the way. From 5th, he puts on the super soft, and that, I think, should be his final stop. And he'll head back out, and he'll be quite comfortably in 6th.
Right, shall I continue with the predictions?
Yes, indeed.
Right then. Now, this is an interesting one. Insignia, or as they may be known from 2016 onwards, Black Horse Racing, owned by Sam Markham, I believe. He'll tell me if I'm right, I hope. Oh yes, I am right, okay. Black Horse Racing. They have a team in FS3 with Sam Markham and Max Shepherd. They look very, very competitive, and the duo have been driving for Insignia in FS2 this year, and ever since every single race that they've entered, I believe Sam Markham has pretty much dominated every single race. And apparently a letter of intent to buy the team has been signed.
Yeah.
So
interesting times.
and they're waiting on the current owner of Insignia, Owen Golding, whether he's interested in selling it to these guys. So it'll be interesting to see if Insignia actually get rebranded for next year. And then we'll probably see Sam Markham and Max Shepherd driving for the team, and they may well be one of the strongest lineups we have in FS2 in 2016. Be interesting, very difficult title fight going on next year.
Yeah, indeed. No, I agree. Yeah, for sure. It could be a very, very interesting one. Sam just pointed out there, just noticing it in the races. We're just talking about predictions. Theodorus there just spun again in the chicane, same place as Mike. He got up the skate road though. He actually lost on the exit of the first part of the chicane, spun it and dropped back behind Sam. So Sam now moves up another spot. Honestly, Sam's just been on the charge this race, just showing that experience and consistency that we know he has. He's in second now. I'm not sure if he'll stay there because I think he may have one more stop maybe to go. We'll see about that as we are entering about another 4. I think it's about another 5 laps to go. So we'll see. He might have one more stop. He might not. He might stretch out those mediums. If he does, then that's going to be an amazing recovery drive and really well done to him. But if not, then he would probably drop back down to about probably 4th or 5th round there. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how that goes. But he's up to second now. Whether he'll stay there, we shall see. Jared Vanderweit's lost his front wing. Where has he lost it? I'm trying to. Oh right, wow, that is an interesting place to have a. Oh right, okay. So he's into the right-hander before the back straight, the DRS zone there. He's just broken on the curb by the looks of it. Gone a bit wide, broken on the curb, locked up and gone straight into the wall, gone straight on. and so he's lost his front wing, unfortunately. Real shame for him, as he was doing all right there. He's going to be, he's in 6th at the moment. I think he should keep 6th because he's got a lap, I believe, on Tamas there. So he's got a whole, pretty much half a lap on Tamas. So he's got a lot of time on Tamas behind him, so he shouldn't lose a spot, but it's a real shame for him. That kind of takes him out of that battle for 5th spot. It's a real shame for him, but yeah, there you go. Real shame for Jared. He's had a really good race so far, but yeah, just a bit of unluck, a bit of bad luck, sorry, in his case. Obviously, the pit lane drama earlier with Mike, and now that little moment there has sort of cost him time. Bit of a shame for Jared, but yeah, there you go. Just a little something to notice. But yeah, any more? Have we got any more predictions, Quentin, to add on to what we've heard?
None that are on the notes. I have some more though written down.
Right.
There's so many teams. I'm not sure, but I think there's already the number of teams that have expressed interest. There's already gone way past how many teams are actually allowed in FS1. So that's quite interesting to see. Right, first off, we'll start with Bluebird Racing. Joined
yes.
a little bit after the start of this season in FS1. Started in about the 5th race in Monaco, I believe, or Austria, not sure. I think that they're going to be sticking with their lineup. Nothing really needs changing there. And then I suspect we'll see for the national, for the SimLeague run teams, so the Spagna, Scuderia Italia, Team Deutschland, they'll remain available to anyone to drive in, as they always are. And then we may well see GBR Racing becoming a SimLeague run team again, because before it was run by the admins before Eric Stanford stepped up to take over the team. So I think with Eric going off and forming a partnership with Jan van Vade to form EJ Engineering, GBR will probably become another SimLeague run team again. And then there's a few teams in FS2 recently. So we've seen the introduction of Richard's racing team. So with Zach Jones and Nick Brackey. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get promoted to the league member rank quick enough that allows them to start racing in FS1. And I haven't heard if that is their interest to race in FS1, but they're a racing team. Surely they want to race in the fastest cars available.
Indeed, yeah. Exactly right, yeah. I agree, yeah.
Exactly, so I can't really predict those teams, what they're going to have. I suspect that RRT will end up with the same lineup as they do in FS2. Bluebird remain the same, and then the SimLeague run teams, they'll be open for the rest of the drivers. But then there's some drivers here who may find themselves having lost a seat from 2015 going into 2016. So there's people like, of course we have Sandeep Choda and Menno Klont. If Adonis don't enter, where do they go?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. A lot of variables, that's for sure, in this race. For the last few laps now, I've got about 3 to go, I believe, in this race. Sandeep's still miles ahead of everybody. He's just been the man in this race, really. Just, Bill was behind Menno and Mike early on in the race, but he's just been the one to keep consistent, just been really consistent, really fast, and showing that talent we know Sandeep has, really, is all he's been doing this race. But yeah, no, interesting predictions, Quinn. Thanks for sharing those. Good little time to talk about it, as we've been a bit quiet in recent laps. But yeah, thanks for that, Quinn. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. I wonder how many predictions of yours will be right. I'm interested to see that.
Absolutely none, probably, now.
We'll see. Maybe. I reckon there could be a few of those, at least, that'd be right, I reckon, looking through them. But yeah, no, there you go. So those are all, I guess, a little bit of a preview almost there to next season. We will see, though, of course. A lot of time still, obviously, as you said, about 5 months or so. 5 months plus until next season begins, so plenty of time for things to change and all these different other things to happen. But yeah, going to be very interesting to see a lot of new teams possibly entering the league, both in FS1 and FS2 and FS3. So it could be a very large pool
Whoa, whoa,
of
whoa,
drivers.
Theodorus,
Oh.
he's just had his engine's just blown.
Oh, oh yeah, it has. Look at that. Theodorus is gone. Yeah, that engine is on fire, baby. And so I think that is him
Get
out.
the marshmallows out.
Marshall's on the side there. Just cook some marshmallows while he's there. Just go lean over the railing and get some cooking done. But yeah, it's a real shame. Theodorus has been great this race. Really consistent. Really impressive race from him in that UAR car. Again, showing that consistency that he's sort of shown all season long. Real shame. You know, a podium, even a second, I think, may have. Oh no, third. Sorry, yeah. A podium was on the cards there. In that UAR car, so he's now out of the race. Real shame for him. So real bit of a shame for him, unfortunately. But that is racing, as we said. It is Singapore. It is a tough track at the best of times. So real shame for him. He is out. He's still sitting there. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he is. I'd be pretty frustrated too, to be honest, if I was in the third and then the engine conked out on me with I think it's about 2 laps to go. I'd be really quite frustrated too. So I can completely understand his frustrations. He's just sitting there off the side of the track, but he isn't really in the way, so it's not too bad, so he should be alright there. But that does put Mike back up into 4th spot, so Mike up to 4th now. Jared should also go back up to 5th spot, so some gains for Hin's Motorsport there, some good points for them, which I'm sure they will take happily. But yeah, real shame there for the UAR driver, but we are on the final lap now, or Sandeep's on the final lap of the race now, for the Adonis Engineering car. Been a real domination, as we said. He's a minute 8 clear of Sam Howe. Back there in 2nd spot, a massive gap. He really has been the man of the race here. Just really dominated so easily, almost. You would think here, as this last half of the race for him has really just been a cakewalk. Really, he's been so far ahead of everyone. And all he's had to do is just keep the car on the track, which is not exactly, not exactly a hard sort of last half really for him, but he did. It was a bit of a challenging start to the race, as you said. He was behind Menno and Mike at the start of the race, but he kept his cool. You know, showed that experience and that pace that we know that Sandeep has really showing through in this race. And no surprise from Sandeep. There's a reason why he is up there fighting for the championship with Sam Howe. Really nice stuff from him here, and he's just got to finish off the last sector now. I think he's just entered the last sector now, so he's just got one more sector to go. And then he's got this race win under his belt. Sam just mentioning there, by the way, apparently Mike losing 15 seconds. Mike Anderson losing 15 seconds a lap to Jared. Jared obviously on a lot newer tyres than Mike. Mike on very old super softs. They would be worn to hell, honestly. I suspect he'd be like driving on ice on that thing at the moment. But he is still going along. But I think Jared's got a little bit too big of a gap to close to be able to get him. But we'll keep an eye on that for you. But Sandeep Choda now coming through the final sector, coming through the final chicane there. He's just lapped Tamas as well, put him down another lap, so good stuff there. But here he is coming around the final corner. Sandeep Choda is going to win here at the Singapore Grand Prix, round 15 of Season 8. He wins for Adonis. Great drive from Sandeep, real commanding stuff from our championship contender. He now gains points back on Sam Howe, so big stuff for him. As also, I think that's lag. Yeah, it's lag, don't worry. Menno just jumped ahead of Sam, but I think that's lag. So yeah, but yes, very impressive drive from Sandeep there. Really great stuff. But Sam Howe he's just coming around the last sector, entering that now. He should take a 2nd place. A really impressive drive from him to come back from that first lap blunder to be in that 2nd spot. Really great stuff from the T4 driver. Minimises the damage now, so pretty much the minimum damage you could have hoped for from that early spin. So good stuff from him. So Sam Howe coming around now with the final few chicanes. He should, barring an instance, have 2nd in the bag. Menno Klon in 3rd at the moment for Adonis. Great drive from him to get on the podium from Menno. Really good stuff. Leading early on in the race. Then made a mistake at the end of the back straight there, into the left-hander. Made a little mistake and dropped down the field. And again, another good recovery drive from him too. Come back into 3rd spot, so great stuff from him. So double podium for Adonis, really great for them in the Constructors' Championship. Just going to make things even easier for them. As Sam Howe now comes on the main straight, he's going to take 2nd spot for T4, and then it will be Menno who'll take 3rd for Adonis. 4th spot for Mike Anderson, well done to him. Up at the front early on in the race, a couple of little errors, dropped him back, but still, 4th spot for the Hin's Motorsport driver. Great result for him. Still, proving himself really in FS1. Just proving how much of a talented driver he is, as we already have seen multiple times throughout the FS2 season. Jared van der Weyck gets there in 5th spot for the 2nd Hin's Motorsport car. Great stuff from them too. 4th, 5th Hin's Motorsport. Great result for them. That's going to help them in the team championship. So well done to those 2 drivers. Tamas there in the lone FSR car brings it home in 6th spot. Good drive from him. Some good solid points for that team. And then, last the surviving cars, Stelios Vansis comes home 7th, and he is the last surviving car for Insignia Motorsport or Sim Racing Again, some good points for them. And then retirements of, I believe that is 6 retirements. Theodoros, Owen Golding, Tony Matsalis, Michael Bolsaro, and Nikos there in the FGP car, your retirements. And then Alfred Wenzel there in the Bluebird Racing didn't even start the race. So there you go. That is the Singapore Grand Prix for you. I tell you what, it was fascinating, very fascinating. I mean, the last half there was a little bit quiet, but I tell you what, that first half of the race really had it all, didn't it?
Exactly. We didn't have any idea where to turn because everyone was making a mistake left, right, and centre. Sam Hay made a mistake in the second corner, and then suddenly he's got himself a second place, which is amazing considering he had that really slow. He had the front right puncher, didn't he? So really slow, but he got his second place, and it's the experience showing. But then you also got to look at the youth, those who have just come into FS1. Mike Anderson, another great performance, 4th place. That's incredible.
Yeah, indeed. No, exactly. Yeah, once again, as I said, really showing his class in FS1. As we said, we know in FS2 he's fast. He's just proven that again here in FS1. As I said, he's filled in the last few rounds for Hinds Motorsport and really has shown his stuff in that car. And there's a reason, I guess, why he's hotly fought after driver between a couple of teams for next season. And then he's just showing there why, just showing the reasons. And of course, the more he races, the more experienced he gets, the better he gets. So he can only improve in the closing stages of this season and into next season. So, he's the one to keep an eye out for sure. Definitely one that I think will really possibly come into his own next season as he continues to just gain more experience in these cars. But yeah, no, really, really interesting stuff for sure. And some, very interesting stuff at Donus again. Very solid points for them, just helping them and the constructors in motorsport. Really great bag of points for them as well. It's going to help them as well. So. Yeah, a lot of very interesting implications for this race, and as we said, a little bit of a, it was almost like a podcast. I felt like we were doing a little bit of a podcast in the middle of the race there, just talking about a few predictions for next season. So as we said, some interesting stuff to expect for next year. Possibly some new teams, some reforming of teams, some refacing of teams, and some of them staying pretty much as they are now. It's a bit of everything, really. You never know for next year. As we said, still a long way to go. Till we get to the next season, but already there's a whole bunch of rumours swimming around of what could be happening. But yeah, very interesting stuff indeed. So I guess we'll end it on that. So any final words from you, Quentin, before we end the broadcast for this round?
It's just got to be a massive congratulations to all the finishers. I know I did a little bit of practice yesterday, and it was incredibly difficult. I got 6 laps from the super soft tyres, and generally I look after tyres quite well. And these guys are having to work so hard to get these points and whatnot, and just to finish at the Singapore Grand Prix, they should give themselves a pat on the back.
I think I agree completely. Yeah, that's I think the message here. Congratulations to everyone. I mean, of course, obviously Sandeep and Sam and those two, Sandeep for the great win, and then of course Sandeep and Menno Sam and Menno for the recovery. But yeah, I think it's very fair to say that really all the drivers who finished should be a congratulations for sure, because just surviving around Singapore for 40 laps is a very tough challenge because it's a very long race, and very, very tough on the drivers and the cars. So well done to everyone who finished, and yeah, really, really interesting race. Some really very interesting implications for the remainder of the season as we head into the last few races now, getting to the end of this season. We head towards the closing stages. It's going to be very interesting to see if Sandy can continue to eke into that lead that Sam has, and what that's going to mean as we enter the last few races of the season. But thank you again to Quentin for coming along as always and doing the cameras. Great stuff from him, and thank you to Sam Markham too, who's been in here in the TeamSpeak, just keeping an eye on the race and giving us a little bit of a keeping an eye on things and spotting things when they happen. So thank you very much, Sam, for keeping an eye on things for us and being our third eyes here in the booth. But I'm Thomas Hens, and hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast as much as I enjoyed it. Very, very good fun to be back in the booth again here at SimLeague, and we hope to see you in a couple of weeks' time for the next round of Championship. Until then, we will see you guys next time. Bye for now.